2020, weird year, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So how was it in Texas?
Texas, it was we kind of shut down late, I would say. So it wasn't too weird starting off for us, and then it kind of got weird starting in July as far as shutdowns go. So we just kind of
July.
Yeah, they didn't shut down until July for the most part.
That's when everyone opened.
Yeah, and so we just kind of kept pushing through. We had a couple weeks at the beginning that were kind of weird, and then actually our business just started blowing up after that. Though I think people sitting at home, just kind of gave them more time to allow for our services and stuff like that. So how about you guys?
Connecticut, how was it for you when you?
Pretty much like March when they shut everything down, it got like slow. Like 6 or 7 people canceled, but oddly, like as people get off the phone of them like canceling or postponing because of a pandemic, someone else will be calling up saying, "Hey, I now have this time to do this car I just bought," or I was waiting until spring, but what better time than now? I'm home from work. So I did like a pre-production Bullet Mustang that was literally on like all the auto shows. And the serial number is PP026, which is pre-production car. So that was cool. I got to do one of those, and who knows if I would have did it or not during COVID, but he bought it and he had the time to bring it down, and someone just canceled a Tahoe right before to bring me a pretty unique car. I'll probably never see something like it again. So that was cool. And then it started to get busier middle of April, and then it just never ever slowed down after that.
That's awesome.
How was it in Florida?
Yeah.
Florida's kind of the crazy state, so no one really cares about anything. They just do what
I know,
they want to do.
we noticed that on the news.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Parties every
So they kind of like talked about shutting down, but they didn't really like enforce anything really. Like there was for restaurants, yeah. There's certain industries they did get shut down, like bars and restaurants. But as far as our industry and pretty much any automotive industry, people that I've talked to in the area, they've all been just through the roof busy. Same thing, like people are home, they're with their cars or buying new cars. And a lot of people bought new cars because of the financing.
That was
really
another
low.
thing, yeah. Yep.
So they had an incentive to do that. So that's bulk of our business is new car preps, coatings. So, but yeah, we've had a record year so far. So COVID hasn't really affected us negatively at all, really.
How about in the potato state?
I thought it was going to be like really slow. We're going to have the lowest sales of the year, and we still make goals just like anybody else. And I'm surprised that it just went up.
That was one exciting thing for us. In the area there were like restaurants and stuff. You said those definitely were the hardest hit in Texas, and they were laying people off. And the neat thing about us this year, we've actually added a shop and we've added 21 positions to our company this year, which was kind of neat. While there's a lot of companies that have had to lay off, unfortunately because of this, just because of the field they're in and stuff, we were actually able to add jobs to our area, which was just a really neat, fortunate thing that we got to experience. So kind of went against the trend.
You added someone too.
I got another full-time employee. So
yeah, and I did too.
Yeah,
I did another guy.
Which is cool because that's against the trend.
Yeah.
So marketing on your side, your marketing, I have noticed is pretty good.
Obviously we use the Gtechniq. We get, I think this year we've had at least 4 or 5 coatings. I'd have to sit down and look, but at least 4 or 5 just direct leads from the Gtechniq marketing.
Yeah, same here.
And then, but just really putting our name on everything. And then just getting to do neat stuff. I mean, just putting Gtechniq out there. I mean, this year they sent me to COTA twice in Austin, so we went to the 6 hours of Le Mans, and then we also did the Ferrari Challenge this year at COTA, so that, getting to promote that we're doing that kind of stuff too is awesome. And our videographer just put together a really neat deal on the Ferrari Challenge on, if it's good enough for a race car, it's definitely good enough for your personal vehicles and stuff like that. So that was kind of a neat angle that we took at it. But yeah, we try to hit it from all aspects. Yeah.
We've seen some of your work, and we have seen how you handle things. I was really surprised when you say you don't wash vehicles, you don't do interior, you just concentrate more likely in coatings, and that's just your forte.
To be focused on what you do, be phenomenal at it, and then people talk. And Instagram and Facebook are good. A lot of organic stuff helps you out, but referrals are everything just by doing good work and being a specialist at what you're doing. And that's what worked for me.
Yeah. How long have you been?
Just 3 years.
Yeah.
As you guys know, this product, it's just one application. As a detailer, I wanted to just, I mean, we all went to other ceramic coatings. You guys been in the business for a while, and the one thing that I hated it was just to apply one coat and then wait an hour and then put another one and then put another one. By the time you're done with one car, especially one little shop or mobile, it was like, man, I have to be there for two days or have the vehicle for 2 days and then just that's it, you know.
Yeah, it's the same thing for us when we switched over to this. So it was like an instant like double in business because you could immediately start booking
More.
twice as much work because you could do that in an afternoon. So now we can do 2 cars in a day, like no problem with XO on top. So that's even waiting a few hours in between.
Yeah.
Went hard after this because it just changed everything. I mean, not only is it much easier because we have 6 installers in my company, it's like this is much easier to train and it just makes everything in the protections great compared to what we were using previously.
And like you touched on, if you have just like a single bay shop where you can only have like 1 car in there at a time,
it'll bottleneck quick.
if you have, really quick. If you have some of these other coatings that require multiple layers or infrared curing, you're losing so much money, and this product works just as good as any of the others, if not better.
Just the neat thing about Gtechniq, I mean, they've put some serious time and effort and money into getting their name out there. I mean, with the national, social media advertising and television shows they've done that you've been involved with. SEMA last year, I was lucky enough to get to go out and work on the Asian project at SEMA last year. Going to the Circuit of the Americas, like they really, if their installers are in an area where they've got something going on, they like to get their network involved in it. It's not like they just come out to Austin, Texas and ignore their installers. They invite us to those events, and they really invest themselves. It's a two-way street, they invest themselves into us, and in turn we get to invest ourselves into them and build that relationship.
It makes sense.
And I think as detailers, I know there's always the hypes. Ceramic is obviously the hot topic in the detailing world right now, and so you see
graphene.
Graphene and all that, and it's like, I think we have to be conscious of that, and just know what's out there, but know that a lot of it's just marketing and branding. Like there's a lot of people that have like quote unquote ceramic sprays and stuff, and it's like, that's the big one that always kind of hurts my soul a little bit. It's like, come on, like
It has
that's
to have a resin to be a ceramic coating.
exactly. But I think it's also smart that we know what is out there. So, because we're going to we've all been asked about ceramic sprays and stuff like that. So I think it's important that we don't get caught up in the hype, because you'll drop a fortune. If you're going to just, and that's one thing, Gtechniq's been around for a long time. They've been doing this a long time. So we know that they're doing that for us in a sense. If there's some new thing that comes out, they're buying it and testing it and putting it up again. So I trust their testing processes and know that they're the ones that are doing that, and that takes it off of our plate of having to go out and buy all these different products that will probably be gone in a year or two.
Your customers pick up on that too. So if you're switching coatings constantly,
it'll confuse them.
They're going to be like, well,
100%.
Was the coating you used on my last car not good?
Exactly.
Like, why are you using something?
And I know guys that that's
I've seen
happened
that.
to.
I've
Yep.
seen that
And
with
then
some-
it doesn't look
and then
good.
They say it. They
So
say
if
it.
you used a brand and you stick with it, that they know that you trust it that much more, and they'll
I think
trust
if you
you.
just keep changing and changing and changing,
They just know you're going with the wind instead of
you're not
actually finding
creating
something.
value.
It's nice that they do that for us, and we don't have to sit there and tape off hoods and put 4 different products on it and all that. We don't have to worry about that, because we already know they're doing that, and they're keeping our products up to par and
I always
ahead
see
of the competition.
third-party guys doing it anyways, the guys on YouTube and
Yeah.
stuff, doing all the squares, and Gtechniq usually always comes out on the top
Exactly.
anyways. So I'm just
Yep.
like,
Right. And they're not even using a pro coating, they're using the consumer
yeah,
stuff.
and
That,
it's still beating
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the funny part.
It's cool.